Hello
Hello and
mm,
welcome to A Run with a
with a
View,
view. Mm,
with a view. Two middle-aged blokes discussing and just occasionally arguing
hmm
about the movies they love, lubricated by a glass or two of rum.
Indeed.
Hey, I'm Stu,
And I'm Alan, and welcome
and
to Run with a View again. It's
welcome to
okay.
Run with a View. And this week,
Mm,
it doesn't do it never it's you can't welcome people too often, I always say. And this week is a bit different. We're doing a
indeed.
bit of a
Mm.
different episode this week because we are covering a film that Alan has seen many times
Oh, yes.
and I have seen only once. So, for me at least, this is
Mm,
kind of a reaction video. Alan, what is today's
mm.
film?
It is 1974, Monty Python, the Holy Grail.
The first feature-length film by
Mm,
the team that brought you Monty Python's Flying Circus, which has an original story. Well, I say original,
mm,
but it's based on the Legend of King Arthur.
hmm
Pretty loosely, I think we can say.
Yeah.
Released in 19, I think it was 1975. Was
Yes,
it?
you're right. It was made
Yeah,
in 74, but released
because
in
because
75.
because you've blown my brilliant joke now. I was going to say it was released in 1975, just like me. Never mind. It was directed by the two Ronnies.
Two
Sorry,
Gillians,
the two
two,
Terrys, the two
two
Terrys.
Terrys. Yeah, Terry
Gilliam
Gilliam and Terry
and Terry
Jones.
Jones.
Mm.
And it's been ranked by the sort of people who rank these things as one of the funniest comedies of all time.
Mm.
So, no pressure then.
Yeah.
Alan,
Yeah.
when and where did your relationship with this film begin?
Oh. Well, I mean, I grew up in the 70s and 80s and I was surrounded by Python. So, yeah, I did watch Python, not originally on TV. I'm yeah, not that old. But yeah, I did watch a lot of Python and it was my family that kind of got me into it. So my dad enjoyed Python. Um, and yeah, I remember watching that like sneakily coming downstairs and he letting me watch a couple of episodes and all Python. So the
You can
film
stay
though,
up late.
exactly, stay up late and watch a bit of Python with dad. Um, but yeah, the film itself I watched on TV, but it wasn't the first Python film I saw. I saw Life of Brian first and then saw Holy Grail later on. But when I did it, absolutely loved it, fell in love with it straight away. But then I am a Python fan, so
You were primed for it then.
I was primed for it anyway. So I loved it then, I loved it now, and I've seen it countless times to the point where I can quite happily watch it and quote it as we go through, and I know the film scene by scene. But what I'm really interested to know
Mm.
is what you thought of it.
Well,
So.
my to delay answering your question just for a moment because I like to
Hmm.
tease.
Go on then, tease
Um,
away.
I mean, just talk about my history with the film for a
Mm.
moment. But that won't take long because I watched it about 24 hours ago.
Yeah.
I've always kind of avoided it because and I'm sure a lot of our devoted listeners and beloved audience members will be all what 100 of them I think we had for
Mm.
is the most we've had for a video. But hey, I'm
Yeah.
not knocking it. I did think
Yeah.
we made double figures, never mind triple. So thank you for that, whoever watched, everybody who watched. But I was never a big Monty Python fan.
Hmm.
And their sort of sophomoric brand of humor never really appealed to me.
Mm.
Although, having said that, I sort of wonder why that. I've wondered why that is, why it doesn't appeal. I mean, not that you have to
Yeah.
explain these things necessarily. It's some things. Comedies, all comedy is an acquired taste, isn't it?
Mm. Indeed.
And you either acquire it or you don't.
Mm.
Uh, I used to think, is it because it's like silly comedy made by clever people? But that doesn't
Hmm.
really make sense because I like other things. I like Bottom and The Young Ones, and that's university
Mm.
graduates making prats of themselves as well. Anyway, so would you like to know? I've organised my responses to the
Hmm.
film
Okay.
into the good and the bad, a good column and a bad
Yeah,
column,
please do. No, let me go
and a
through it and
fifth.
then I'll sort of quiz you on some elements of the film Python in general.
Okay. Oh, blimey. I didn't know. I didn't know I was have to revise. Okay.
No,
Do I
not a
do I
quiz,
win?
just
Do I
inquire.
get a
Inquire your
prize? Is there a
thoughts and
prize?
feelings.
Do I
Yeah.
get more rum? No, all right. Uh, okay. First of all,
Hmm.
the first thing that struck me about it was I like the way it was shot.
Okay.
I like the dramatic camera angles. I like the grainy photography with like all this
Hmm.
steam and smoke coming into the frame and diffusing the sunlight when it isn't
Yeah.
overcast.
Hmm.
Because it gives the sort of ugliness of the Middle Ages a kind of bleak romance,
Yeah.
which I thought
Hmm.
was quite nice. But on the other hand, there's also plenty of mud and filth
Yeah.
and blood that
Plenty of
drags
mud.
this whole plenty of mud,
Plenty of mud.
plenty of filth, and it drags the story back down to earth, in terms
Yeah.
of
Hmm.
historical accuracy. For my money, I think the funniest jokes are probably the sort of darkest ones,
Yeah. Okay.
like Bring Out Your Dead, all that kind of stuff. The
Yeah.
ones that
Bring
are
out the dead.
about
Dark Knight. Black
because
Knight.
death and pestilence,
Hmm.
they're sort of commonplace
Yes.
in that era, and there's a weird empathy, I think, in making kind of matter of fact jokes about them.
What about the
Um,
gruesomeness of some of the scenes like the Black Knight?
well, that as well. Well, actually,
Hmm.
is that the guy who gets his arms and legs cut or arms
Yes.
cut
Yeah.
off?
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's a different kind of thing. That's more sort of absurd, isn't it? That's more kind of
Mm. Okay.
over the top, ridiculous.
Yeah.
Like
Taking gore to just over the top levels so it
it's not even
becomes more
gruesome, is
comical.
it? Because
Yeah.
if you really got your arms chopped off, the
Yeah.
horror of that would be unspeakable. But he just
Yeah.
carries on, kicking him in the bum. So it's not
Mm.
even. Oh, now look.
Sorry. Yes. Sorry.
What I'm going to say about
Yeah.
spoilers, if I can get it into the
Mm.
frame as well as me, what I'm going to say
Mm.
about spoilers is that this film doesn't really have a plot. I mean, it does, but it's
Yeah,
very
cool. Yes. There is a plot.
well.
The search for the Holy Grail.
Well, yes, all
It's just
right.
it's just
The
loosely
the only thing you can really spoil then is do they find it or not, and I'm not going to say
right.
anything about that. So, all right.
Okay.
I don't think we need to worry too much about spoilers on this episode,
No.
folks, and not just because everyone in the world except for me has seen it.
And to be fair, I think with pretty much all of these videos, there are going to be spoilers because these are all with deep dive.
Yeah, it's
So
always
it's going to be
we've mentioned
very,
this before, but
yeah.
it's always worth reiterating, I
I
think.
think yeah, these all of our videos are going to be spoiler alert.
Yeah,
So,
but we do have a
um,
nice handmade card that
indeed, and it is fabulous.
made by
So
a friend
yeah,
of the show.
right.
The other another good thing that I liked was
Mm,
I like the sort of that scene where they're again it's quite early on
mm.
where I think it's Michael Palin and somebody and they're the two sort of peasants scrabbling around in the filth. Oh, this is a bit
Yes,
of filth here and
yeah.
all that.
I'm being
I
oppressed.
like
I'm
that
being
sort of
oppressed.
yeah, all that. I liked all that sort of satirical element,
Yes.
transplanting that kind of Citizen Smith political
Yep.
activism,
Hmm.
or ill researched but using lots of big words like dialectical materialism, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Transplanting that from the 1970s to the 930s, I thought
Exactly.
that was a nice touch.
Hmm.
I think it's more of a sort of, I mean, like I was saying about the plot, I think it's more of a series of sketches
Yes,
rather than a
that is
well-defined
exactly
story,
what it is.
which
It
which
is.
makes sense because
Yeah.
that's their background, right?
Well,
And they do a
exactly.
bit of
That
some
is their
sketching.
forte because this was their first film from making the TV show. So with the TV show, it was just sketch after sketch after sketch, and because all the sketches were completely random and there was like really little connection to them, which something a lot of people actually enjoyed, and that's why you always
Well,
had
all
sort
sketch
of like
shows are kind of like that in a way,
exactly,
It's kind of the
but
point.
that's
They're an
why you
anthology.
had like weird little things like and now for something completely different,
Yeah.
because you needed a link from one sketch to another sketch. And if you think about this, what the film is just a complete barrage of multiple sketches, which they wrote very. There wasn't a lot of ad lib during the film as well. The whole film was incredibly well scripted by the entire team, but generally the way that they shot it, because obviously you're seeing a lot of the Python team reacting different characters within it. Generally, the way they decided to do that was whoever wrote the joke or the scene acted that particular scene.
Mhm. Makes sense.
So
It's smart that they've chosen a kind of quest narrative.
yeah,
Because you can sort of do in a quest story. It's
mm,
literally the main character going from place to place and getting in adventures, and that kind of makes sense that they're
yeah.
just going from sketch to sketch. They're just walking through the movie
Mm.
and encountering these different people
Well,
doing
I
these
mean,
wacky things. So
I could
it
quick,
does make sense. It's
yeah.
well written in that sense.
Well, I mean, it did kind of end up that way because that was the kind of the fourth iteration of the what they had planned out for the movie. So originally it
Right.
was going to be half set in the medieval period and half set in the modern period. And with that
Ah.
theory of it being in the modern period is they do find the Holy Grail, but where they find it is in Harrods.
because there is some of that in the movie, isn't there?
Yeah,
Like they have the
exactly.
element of like modern day,
Well, that's
the
where
sort
you
of
get
modern
the
day
things
parallel
of the
storyline thing.
political bits and pieces and a bit like the
Well,
shrug.
I mean like the historian, the famous historian and stuff like that.
Exactly, yeah. So
Yeah.
there is this kind of crossover between modern day and yeah. So they kept tiny little bits of that, but
Mm.
that was the original thought of the movie. But they
That's all that's
thought
left
it
of that. Yeah.
wouldn't work that well, so they just kept it all in the medieval, and they thought they could actually have more fun with it.
Do you want to know my favorite bit?
Gun, please do. Yeah,
I think my favorite bit was probably the killer rabbit.
yeah. Everybody
Uh,
loves Killer Rabbit.
yeah,
Yeah, because
because
it's
I like
back big
rabbits.
freaky teeth.
I do like rabbits, and
Yeah.
especially when they're exacting violent revenge on
Oh,
humankind.
exactly. And it's brilliant. And yeah.
And the editing and directing of that scene is really good. You got like, the long shots showing the sort of
Hmm.
puppet jumping in on the guy, and then suddenly cutting between like all these when they're all getting in the melee, and there's like cutting between all these
Exactly. It
close-ups,
is
and
just
you know the
phenomenally
rabbit coming
brilliant.
at the camera, and the guy going, "Ah."
Exactly. And like
It's
the
like a horror
rabbit
movie or
puppet,
something, you know.
the puppet of the rabbit just arcing over the shield, just trying to
Yeah,
bite at them. It's just absolutely fabulous.
that was
So
probably the
yeah.
best bit for me, I think.
I think that is probably everybody's most favourite scene, or one of the
Oh,
most
okay,
favourite
interesting.
scenes. So it's well
I thought I was being
recognised.
clever.
No, no, no. It's everybody loves it, and but I think the one thing that most Python fans would say is it's just a constant cascade of brilliant written scene onto another brilliant scene and then another brilliant scene and it just keeps going. It just seems to get better and better and better. You think there's going to be a bit of a lull and it doesn't. It just then they manage to keep the buoyancy of the comedy up all the time.
Well, I'm gonna have to just go ahead and disagree with you there,
You by all
Alan,
means, that's
because
absolutely fine. So
I don't think I well I'm gonna that was the last good thing I had to say. Actually, the bit about the
okay,
rabbit.
yeah,
So we're moving on to the bad
yeah,
stuff now. So we'll come on to this, but I think pacing was a big problem. But anyway, we'll come
okay,
on to that in a
that's all
minute.
right. Well,
Um,
I think they get around that in a number of different ways. I mean, how did you feel the use of Telly Gilliam's animation? Did you see it, how they used it as a nice link? As sort of like a scene ended, they would just sort of like cut straight to either a random
there
bit
didn't
of
seem there didn't seem to be that much
animation
of it.
or using animation to kind of help move things along.
Well, I thought there wasn't actually. To be honest, when the animation bit when the first animation bit came on, which I think was it the God in the Sky in the
Yeah.
clouds, was it
Hmm.
that?
Yeah. Hmm.
Because I thought I sort of when that happened, I was like, oh, I suddenly went, oh yeah, they do animated skits in
Yeah.
Monty Python.
Hmm.
I've forgotten about that,
Yeah.
Um, and I was sort of watching it, thinking it's taking this time turning up, isn't it? Because I thought they normally might have had that a bit earlier,
Yeah.
but maybe it was still quite early. I don't know because as I said, pacing.
Mm.
Okay, well, the first thing I didn't like
Okay.
was the opening credits, actually,
You
because
didn't like the opening credits. You didn't like the
here we
Swedish.
right. See, I knew right. How long have we been recording? I don't know how far we
Okay.
are into the episode,
All right.
but I mean, to be perfectly honest, I thought we might
I
have
was
lasted
expecting you
about
to
20,
like
30
that.
minutes
Yeah.
before I said there was something I didn't like, and Alan suddenly went, "You didn't like that bit," which
Honestly,
is
I thought you were going to enjoy the Swedish.
no, I
Um,
like that. No,
yeah.
the I didn't dislike. Sorry,
Okay.
I should clarify because I didn't
Okay then.
dislike the opening credits altogether. I think the mock Swedish
Yeah.
subtitles
Yeah.
thing,
Hmm.
they maybe overrate that a little bit. I think it went on too long.
Right. Okay.
But I think a lot of the jokes
Yeah.
go on a bit too long.
Hmm.
I think that's one of their main, not one of their main problems. One of my main problems with Monty Python, I
Right.
think, is they never they're like Mariah Carey. They can't just do a joke once. She can't just sing one note. She's got to sing six
Right.
notes. Where other people would sing,
Hmm.
they can't just do the punchline once. They've got to do it three or four times. Did you get it yet?
Right.
Did you get it yet? That's kind of that gets on
Mm.
my nerves a bit. Um, but again, we'll come to that later as well. No, it was the bit in the opening credits where
Mm.
the flashing colors come up and it all
Yeah.
changes.
Mhm. To be
But
fair, the flashing bit. I mean, that was just very big in the 70s
oh, that
anyway.
psychedelic.
That
Yeah, yeah.
psychedelic sort of flash. And also, they were pressed for cash. I mean, as for making a film, it's amazing this film got made in the first place for the budget that they had. So it was just like, right, what the hell are we going to do? What can we actually afford? And so a lot of the opening credits is just basically them just being cheeky on the budget side of
Yeah,
things.
you can't do an
So
epic title sequence
no,
because you haven't got the
no,
budget for it. I
exactly.
mean,
It just didn't.
I don't. I mean, I don't think I'm epileptic or anything, but
Mm.
well, I don't
But yeah,
know. I
it
did for
would
a moment
kick
there.
you
I did
off. It
wonder.
would, yeah. It
So
should,
yeah, warning.
yeah. So anybody who does have epilepsy, there's a flashing scene right at the very beginning of the credits that would set you off if you are, set off that way. Yeah.
It just so happens that spoiler
Mm.
is the Swedish word for epileptic warning. So
Nice.
yeah,
Okay.
it's just as well. Fortunately, I can hold this up and we can.
No, that's good.
Yeah, it's very handy. Another thing I didn't like, and
Mm.
again, this was the filth peasants in the mud thing, but they did it a few times. Actually, I don't think they did it too much in this one, but it always bugged me
Mm.
about Monty Python was the
Okay.
whole men playing female characters thing, and all they really do is put on a
Mm.
stupid high voice and talk like that,
Yeah.
because that's what women sound like, isn't it?
Mm.
And I
Well, they're
don't
not
think
the
I've
only
ever.
female actors. I mean, they do play, but Python's always done that, and
Yeah, I
Terry
know, and
Jones
it's
always likes
annoying,
dressed up as a
and it
woman.
annoys me,
Yeah,
and I just
but
think,
but
why can't
it's
wait?
a theatre tradition as well. So it's panto.
Yeah, yeah, that's true, and it's annoying there as well.
Fair enough.
I just thought it was a bit weird because they've actually got women in the cast. Connie Booth is in the
Yeah,
cast.
Connie
Carol
Booth's in
Cleveland's
the
in the
cast.
cast.
Yeah,
So why
yeah,
couldn't they? Whatever, I don't know.
I know.
Maybe they just
But
didn't
at
know
least
enough
they do
women.
a mix smash. You do have some female characters and really good actors in it, and yeah, you get some. Yeah, but
Really good
Python's always
actors.
done that, and
Really good. Yeah, well, yeah, but I
mm,
don't really like it.
yeah.
But really good actors. I don't know about
Well,
that.
no, I'm just saying that they actually did a good
Name.
job during it. These are TV actors. A lot of these, this was the first time they've gotten to really doing movies.
Yeah,
Um,
I mean, whatever you think of the film, however much you like the film, I don't think you can
hmm.
really make the case that it's particularly well
No, well,
acted.
it's a
And
comedy.
which is fair enough.
Okay,
It's not
all right.
particularly, I mean, that's not necessarily a requirement with this kind of movie. But I just think that's so strange. Anyway, whatever.
Hmm.
Oh, it's starting now. I can see him getting annoyed.
No, no,
Um,
no. I'm just. I kind of half knew this was how it was going to play
yeah,
out anyway.
yeah.
So the thing is I look at Python like Marmite. You either love it or you hate it. And so if I come across someone who doesn't like Python, okay, fine, fair enough.
You give them a
You
jar of Marmite.
to you, you're missing out. For me,
I'm
I'm
not.
getting all the fun and I'm enjoying it. So
Well, I'm
that's the
not
way
missing
I
out though
look at it.
because I watched
So
it yesterday, so I haven't missed out. I had to
well, you
suffer a
haven't
bit
missed
through
out,
it.
but you're missing out on the fun and enjoyment that us
No,
Python
I'm not.
fans get from it. Well,
No,
maybe
I'm
you
not
are.
because there is no fun and enjoyment in
Well,
it.
we are. We massively enjoy it and we
Well,
love it.
good. Well,
Yeah.
good for you.
Going. So, what else didn't you like, you grumpy old git?
You pathetic sheep. What I didn't like about another thing I didn't like about it was I didn't like and we've kind of well, I've kind of started on this already, but
Hmm.
I think a big problem with me with Monty Python, and I think it's and a lot of comedy that I don't like
Hmm.
is it's the performances. I
Okay.
find that the performances tend to be a little bit too big, lots of raised eyebrows,
Hmm.
shouting, all that kind
Yeah.
of thing. And that can be funny. As I said, I like Bottom.
Hmm.
I don't know
Yeah.
why I like Bottom and not this. I mean,
Okay.
because Bottom's funny. No. As I said, it's a matter of
Um.
taste. But
Yeah.
I think it's just there's something about I think if I found the jokes funny, I probably wouldn't mind.
Okay.
But
Do
because they're
you?
overselling the jokes, I
Okay.
find that even sometimes often even if the material is funny,
Hmm.
then if the joke is oversold, it just kind of it turns me off.
Okay. I'm going to ask you something. Do you think? Do you have an issue with class comedy? So do
Oh
you
yeah,
think that you're not
uh,
enjoying Python more because it's more middle class and upper class comedy as
we
opposed to
have.
say bottom, which is what you would say class as a working class comedy?
Well, you say that, but funny enough, I mean, I think that's an interesting point, and I think we have talked about it before, haven't we? But
Hmm.
or brought it up before, but not really gone
Yeah.
into it in any detail. I think there might be an element of that.
Hmm.
But like I said, I mean, bottom. I mean, it's you
Yeah.
say that's working class comedy, but or lowest common denominator comedy, or
Yeah.
stupid comedy, or whatever
Hmm.
lowbrow,
Because I
whatever you
mean,
want to
where
call it.
would you put Blackadder into that? Would you put Blackadder as kind of middle class comedy or working class comedy, or does it
Well,
span the
actually,
divide?
well,
Would
see,
you
this
say
is
it
the thing.
spans?
This is the thing. This is the thing.
Hmm.
That is two very interesting comparisons that you've made there.
Hmm.
I'll deal with bottom first. I think there are a lot of similarities between bottom and Monty Python because, as I said earlier,
Mm.
it's both, you know, intelligent people
Yeah.
making silly comedy.
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm obviously not averse to that per se.
Exactly, because I know what sort of comedy you enjoy, and I was hoping that you would latch on to the silliness of Python. I think the main reason why people love Python is just the randomness and the silliness of it. That it does
Yeah,
kind of go off the scales. But I definitely think there's a class element to comedy, and there is it creates a natural divide, and some people can bridge that divide, and some people don't. And I can see why some people don't like Python, potentially because of the
I I
class.
I don't know if it's something to do with. It's hard
Because
to put your finger on because comedy
yeah,
is such, again, the reason I think comedy is so subjective, really,
mm,
is because it's the same reason that horror is so that horror
mm,
is so specific as well, because
yeah,
one's taste in horror is so what's because what's frightening
mm,
is a very personal thing, and what's funny is a very personal thing.
mm,
And when you're laughing or when you're scared, you're at your most vulnerable.
yeah,
So I think you forge a deeper emotional connection with the comedy you like and with the
yeah,
horror that you like than you would with, say, the drama that you like or the science fiction that you like or something, or most other
yeah,
genres actually,
mm,
because I think they tap directly into a deep emotional place. Like when you like comedy, you love it in a way
mm,
that you don't love drama that you love, to
yeah,
an
hmm,
extent that you don't love it. And the same if you don't like it. If you don't like comedy,
mm.
it gets on your nerves as well. It's like,
Yes, exactly.
why
Yeah.
do people like this
I mean, yeah,
rubbish? You
there's
know,
certain comedy I will
which is
just
totally
naturally,
unreasonable, totally
yeah.
unreasoning.
No,
But
you're right.
it's not an intellectual response at all.
No,
Of course, it's an emotional response,
no, I know the
which is why
type
I
of
think it's
comedy I
worth.
will avoid and purposely not want to watch because I know I will get annoyed by it. So, because you know you're not
Unless
going
your
to
friend
enjoy it.
recommends it for your
Well,
YouTube channel.
well, I would recommend it if you love it. If you don't, then yeah, stay away from it. We know what we like, we know what we don't like, but it's good to test your own boundaries sometimes. It's good
Oh,
to kind of
definitely. Yeah,
test your
I
own
don't
thoughts
regret.
and
I
don't put yourself in a box that you're only going to like certain stuff because you will surprise yourself sometimes.
I I
Which is
definitely
one
do.
of the reasons why I suggested this because I thought after all this time, you might, yeah. Actually, the one thing I really wish you did is when we watched this, I actually wish you watched it with me and say like my friend Mark, who I watched it with. So I watched it with this week with Mark, and we are both massive
I
Python
can
fans.
I can pretty much guarantee you that would have made it worse.
Well, okay then, well, I don't
Let me
know.
tell you why. Let me
Okay
tell you
then,
why.
please do
It would
because I'm
have. Let
intrigued
me
because
tell you
I
why.
yeah,
Let me tell you why.
okay,
I'm not just saying that to be
no,
a
no, that's all right.
see you next Tuesday.
Mm.
The reason I say that is as I've been in situations like that.
Right, okay then.
Usually after the pub when I was at university
Yeah,
and everyone's stoned or drunk and
yeah,
they want to watch something
hmm,
and they just watch 6 straight episodes of Monty Python. Now,
yeah,
if you don't like it to begin with,
yeah,
but you're staying at someone's house and it's 3 in the morning and you're in the middle of Colchester,
yeah.
so you can't get home.
Hmm.
You all you want to do is get out of there, but you can't because someone's sitting on the mattress you're supposed to be sleeping on later.
Mm.
It's not good. I think one of the big problems with it actually is, and this isn't actually the film's fault, but I
Mm.
found that a lot of the jokes
Mm.
were very familiar to me, even though I hadn't seen the film before. Like I'd heard about the Knights Who Say Knee. I'd heard
Yeah.
about the flesh wound joke. In fact, I knew the
Okay.
flesh wound
Yeah.
joke from National
Mm.
Lampoon's European Vacation when Eric Idle
Yep.
recycled it because he hasn't had an original idea in 45 years.
Hmm.
But
Mm.
because I knew the punchlines already,
Right.
they were
Okay.
robbed of their impact.
Got
I
you.
knew they were
Yeah.
coming.
No.
But I
Yeah.
think Monty Python's presence in the culture has kind of worked against it. Is the point I'm making.
Well. Okay. But then it
For people who
shows
haven't seen
how.
it.
Okay. But it shows how well it stood the test of time. It's over 50 years old. The jokes are
No, it is 50
ingrained.
years old. It is
It
50.
is.
It's not over 50
Uh,
years old. Take that back.
all right.
Sorry, come.
We're towards the end of the year. It's
Oh yeah,
it's
that's true. Yeah,
technically over.
coming up on 51. Yeah, all right,
Right.
fair enough. I'm
So
so old.
but
I
the thing
think,
is, it's stood the test of time. Everybody knows the
yeah,
jokes. Um,
And that same criticism or that
Mm,
same remark that I just made could be leveled against, Pulp Fiction or Ghostbusters or Back to
yeah.
the Future or Star Wars or anything, any
Mm,
popular thing, many of which I love. Another note I made, and I'm just going
mm,
to read you it. I'm going to read you the note that I made verbatim.
mm,
Oh dear, comedy songs.
yeah.
For my money, only Bill Bailey can get away with those. Or maybe who's that guy who died recently? Tom Lehrer. He used to do comedy songs, didn't he,
Oh,
for
right.
us?
Yes. Yeah.
Satirical songs and
Mm.
stuff. So I'm
But
being a
that's
bit facetious
different. I
there, but
mean, the songs were more just silly because the whole thing is silly. And then, when you get the Camelot song, it's like, let's not go to Camelot. This is a silly place. And then they
yeah,
go off and do something different. So and that's the other thing that a lot of people do love about Python is they're constantly taking the piss out of themselves. And I think this is why
yeah.
Python actually
So
became
a
very popular.
self-referentiality. Yeah,
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 because I mean, my theory, and I was talking to Mark about this, is the reason I think Python became popular and has stood the test of time for those people that do love it and appreciate it is if you think about, I mean, when Python started sort of like towards the end of the 60s, beginning of the 70s, and the world was very much changing at that point, particularly the British. It was the end. Pretty much most of the British Empire was crumbling and coming to the end of its knees,
it
and
was a sea change in
it's a
the
massive, massive
culture
sea
and
change.
yeah,
And if you look at Python, Python is middle class, posh people just taking the piss out of themselves and taking the piss out of that area of society.
yeah.
And, it was a bit of a big slap in the face for most British people seeing the end of one of the biggest empires that ever existed on the planet. And yet there's these six guys just constantly taking the piss out of themselves.
So
And
it wasn't ending in a bang or a whimper. It
no,
was ending in a sort of chuckle, a snort
exactly. And
of
if you think of,
derision.
yeah, and
Yeah,
if you think of others like the Goons, they were doing
yeah.
very much the similar sort of thing as well.
10, 15 years earlier.
It'd be interesting to get some feedback from some like an American audience because I know that Python is massive in the
It
States.
is, isn't it? Which I've never understood
Huge, but
why
I
that's
think
so
I
popular
I
over
think
there.
it's a very much Marmite thing out there as well. I'd like to actually get some feedback from American audiences on this theory of how big
Comments.
Python is, and whether it is like, because I know you guys don't have Marmite out there, but it's a very much love or hate thing.
My first thought was like the sketches tend to be a bit labored. They're all based on one joke and they just sort of reiterate it over and over again rather
Mm.
than find, let me finish though, rather than
No,
finding new
no.
ways to express it. But
Mm.
maybe that's most sketches.
Yes, it
I
is.
mean, some perhaps expand on the joke more than better sketches, I suppose,
Yeah.
expand on the
Hmm.
joke more than others, but
Yeah.
but
So,
better more than the worst ones, I
what
think.
did you think of the coconuts? Just the use of
Uh,
them not having
well,
horses, and
that was a running gag.
it's a running
That's a
gag.
different. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, no, well,
So
it's a trot. It's a trotting gag actually,
it
or
is.
a
It's a very
gallop.
trotting gag.
They don't
Yeah.
really gallop, do they? They just trot.
Yeah. But then, did you see where sort of like the kind of the sketch with right at the very beginning, opening sketch with the swallow and the coconuts?
Yeah, yeah.
How the joke with that kind of tied through in the film? Did you see where they were do what
They
they were
kept going
doing
on
with
about the
that?
swallow. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Again, I don't think it's necessarily that the pacing is bad. I think it's just if you're enjoying the jokes,
Mm.
it's going to go by like it's like anything. If you're enjoying a
Yeah.
movie, it goes by in no time. If it's a
Oh,
real,
exactly.
and
Hmm.
also if a film could be 75 minutes, but if it's
Hmm.
boring and if you're not invested in it at all,
So yeah, that 75
it feels like
minutes will
four
feel like
hours.
3 hours.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah.
So I think, I mean,
Mm.
on the whole, I think, I snorted a couple of times, recognizing a well-worked joke, but I never actually laughed.
Okay.
I found it I found it silly and
Hmm.
absurd
Okay.
rather than actually funny. Actually, I did sort of enjoy, I like the idea of it.
Hmm. Okay.
It just didn't make me laugh. I thought it was not, I
Okay.
just didn't find it funny.
So
It's not even an opinion. It's just,
okay.
it's a reaction. It's taste. As I think, as I said, I think I liked it when it was sort of, when the jokes are a bit more, a bit closer to the bone. I think it was because you can be
Oh,
silly and sort of bleak at the same time.
okay.
And when they combine that, when they introduce a bit of, when they put a bit of pepper into a bit of sort of nasty sort of pepper into the bleak, into the sort of silly
Hmm.
blancmange. I think it was.
Right.
I'm not very good at metaphors. Then I think that was it when it was at its best. But I
Okay.
still didn't really laugh.
What
I
about
think
brave Sir Robin when
that
Sir Robin ran away?
let me stop you right there.
Okay.
We can sit here all night
Okay then.
You can quote jokes at me and things, and
No,
I
so
can.
I'm just
What
trying to
do you
get
think
an
of this? What
idea
do you
of
think of
what
that?
you
And
did like.
it's
Oh, yeah, okay, but all
I
of it,
didn't
you
really,
just it
like
just
I said,
washed over you.
it never made me laugh. I think, I mean, like I say, I think we've been funnier in the last half hour than they were in 90 minutes. But again,
Yeah,
that's I'm sure there's plenty of people watching this who think, "Well, you're not funny, you're not funny. It's always saying not as funny. It's certainly not funnier than Monty Python, you bloody
yeah.
amateurs."
Well, it is. It is. Yeah, it is a shame you didn't enjoy it as much as sincerely as much
But
as I enjoyed it. But hey,
but
yeah.
it's all
Hmm.
right because, as I said, I think we're going to get an interesting episode out of it, and it threw up some interesting questions that I've always
Mm,
sort of had. It kind of crystallized certain ideas in my mind
yeah.
about comedy and about taste and
Hmm.
about one's personal preferences and
Yeah.
how all comedy and all art, all taste is kind of is built on that, and it's really got nothing to do with it's got nothing to do with object well, not nothing, but it's got very little
Mm,
to do. I think it's a separate thing, I think, from objective quality or
yeah.
because I can even appreciate a well constructed joke. And there's probably a few of
Well,
those in the movie,
how did you feel about the
but I don't
writing? Yeah.
without laughing at it. Again, I think they do tend to just belabor the joke,
Mm,
well, I feel like their sketches are about three times too long, and it just kind of feels self-indulgence.
right.
That's one of my that's the word I would use to describe Monty
Okay.
Python. They're very self-indulgent, and if you love that, or if you love what they
Mm,
do, if you find what they do funny, not only do you not care that it's self-indulgent, but you feel that they're indulging you as well.
mm,
So you're enjoying it. But if you don't
yeah.
like it, then it's annoying and off-putting.
So, I mean, one of the things I think which is impressive about this film, I mean, let's put the comedy aspect to one side,
Mm.
whether you're a Python fan or not. I mean, most people will know that, this was Python's first attempt at making a film. It was very, very, low budget. I mean, the budget for this movie was actually £400,000. That's how much they had to make it. And
Which was a lot more in 1975, but
true,
still
but still
pretty low budget still,
really low
even
budget,
in those days, yeah.
even by the mid 70s standards. And the way it was funded was really quite interesting because it wasn't really movie studio funded. It was actually funded by the likes of hardcore Python fans, and a lot of them were music groups. So basically, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, a couple of actually record labels like Island, Chrysalis, Crusade, Michael White, the theatre producer as well. So they all kind of coupled together to actually help fund this movie. Um,
So it's
in diff-
almost like a cottage industry, it sounds
it
like.
was, it was. Well, that's why you get a lot of economic jokes in Holy Grail because during the mid 70s, the UK was in a shithole, to be
Yeah,
perfectly
yeah,
honest. Economically wise, we were what was the what, 3 day week, 3 to 4 day
yeah.
week. Yeah, we were not in a good place.
Mm.
So, they were very much bringing that to the forefront in different aspects of their comedy for the purpose of a lot of musical artists at that time, they had to pay a lot in tax. I know we're talking like 90% of
Yeah.
some of their. So if they could get a tax write-off, they would do
What's
it.
the line in Taxman? First 5 9 5 for you, 19 for me, or something like
Yeah, exactly.
that.
It was
Yeah,
almost
whatever it
like
was. Yeah,
90. Some of them were paying up to 90% in
yeah.
tax, which is just scarily amount of money.
Oh,
So if it
bless. The rich being
exactly.
taxed is outrageous, isn't it? Having to pay
Mm.
their way according to what they earn.
But
It's
then,
disgusting.
this is why musical groups sort of like wanting to fund other sort of like creative ventures like this. So this is why it was sort of so heavily funded by, different rock groups,
I
which is
didn't
quite
know that actually.
interesting.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's interesting that they're all coming that they sort of went to that when looking for funding that they went to that
Well,
area of the entertainment
in some ways
business.
they came to them. As soon as
Oh, I see.
some
Right.
actually found out that they were trying to get funding for a film,
So
that
Robert
it was
Plant
like
and
a
Roger
snowball
Waters or whoever
effect.
are all
Yeah,
going
it
like, yeah,
really
when you
was
get
a
a new
snowball effect.
series,
It's like,
yeah.
yeah, all right, okay, then yeah, we'll chip some in and we'll chip some in, and that's how
They
they
could
did
certainly
it.
afford it.
I mean, you may have also heard about the issues with the castles that when they originally, because it was all well, most of it was shot in Scotland,
Hmm.
and they went up, and obviously castles are quite a big thing in the film. There's quite a lot of castles, so they went to the oh god, basically National Heritage of Scotland, and they told Python to bugger off. It says you're not using any of our castles, you won't be very nice. So they
So they
ended
can
up,
only film outside the castle, not
well,
inside.
no, they managed to find Doom Castle,
Oh, okay.
which is the one you see predominantly. And they
Oh, because there are
really,
interiors in. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
well, Doom Castle was privately owned and still is, I believe. And even to this day, it is a
By
kind of
Led Zeppelin.
Python mecca. Yeah. Well, it is a Python mecca. So a lot of
Oh,
Python
right.
fans
Yeah, I
go
expect
to
it is.
Doom
Yeah.
Castle because they actually keep reenacting the scenes of the movie.
Yeah.
But pretty much all of it was shot at Doom Castle, the interiors and the exteriors. A lot of time will say they joke where they use castles where it's actually just a model, and actually that is a
Yeah.
gag in the film.
Yeah.
So yeah, it just shows really inventiveness about okay, we're limited, we can only use the one castle, but they pretty much shoot it. I think there's only three castles that are actually real castles in the film. One of them's in Wales. The other one is Castle right at the very end, and that was a real castle as well. But again, that was all
How,
exterior shots.
how do you spell that? Is it
Ah, ah, is it ah? It's a
A
surprise.
exclamation mark times three, I think. Was it four? Might be three. I think it's three.
He just carved it and
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Or is it? Oh,
carve
it's just a big R. Oh, I see. Right.
yeah.
So it's just castle.
Ah,
Is that backwards?
I don't know. I can't read Aramaic, so.
And I can't spell with my fingers. I can dip them in my rum though.
Mm. But also, the scenes at the end where you get all the fighters at the end, right at the very end. That was pretty
Oh
much
yeah, yeah.
175 students from Stirling University.
Oh, there would be students, wouldn't they? That is so appropriate.
But again,
What's our demographic? Where can we get people
yeah,
who work for like a quid and a free hat? It's like
and you
Shaun of the
know,
Dead again, like we said
yeah,
about Shaun of the Dead. It was fans of
it
space
was
to
fans, yeah.
the zombie
So
to populate the zombie cast.
a nice little thing that you might not realise is the Black Knight scene was shot in Epping Forest.
Oh right.
Yeah, so it
Mind
wasn't
you,
all shot in Scotland.
yeah,
So
mind you, Epping Forest is a big place.
yeah, exactly. But
It's most of the sort of southwest corner of Essex, really, isn't it?
yeah, I heard from John Cleese was giving a bit of a background story about when they shot the that running scene where he charges the castle and you see him in the distance, in the very, very far distance, and they
Yeah.
just repeat that shot to make the joke of like, he's coming, he's still miles away. Basically, that was shot again on Hampstead Heath, but really early in the morning one day. So it was like six o'clock in the morning. And of course, where the camera's set up to have that really, really long shot, he was like all the way down there on his own, nobody around. And of course, he's all dressed up in this medieval garb. And he's like waiting there, waiting for the clue to kind of do the running scene. And of course, you've got a couple of dog walkers up and walking up and down that area. And he's like standing around in this like, medieval garb. And
Is
nobody
that is that
bats
is
an
that
eyelid. Nobody bats an eyelid about it.
is that Basil 40? That's Basil 40, isn't it? Well, I mean, much as I'd love to sit here all night listening to anecdotes about
No,
the
no.
making of the movie.
You hate it. I love it.
No,
So
I
yeah,
didn't hate it. It's just not.
just a grumpy old
Life's too
git.
short for hate. I'm not grumpy
Yeah.
old git. I just don't find the thing funny. That all right. What's a comedy that I like and you don't like? You don't like Anchorman, right?
No, I don't.
I
I
love
don't find.
Anchorman.
Yeah,
Anchorman's brilliant.
exactly.
How can you
But
not
I'm.
think Anchorman's funny, Alan?
But
What's the matter
I'm
with you? Are you
not gonna
weird or
stop
something?
people enjoying it. You go ahead, enjoy it. So yeah, each to
So,
their own.
so you're not a grumpy old git then?
No.
No, well there you go. Neither am I. Cheers.
Chin chin.
Grumpy, grumpy old git. Uh, so in conclusion, then,
Yep.
I
Grumpy old
think
git.
I'm a grumpy old git because I think I've always kind of hated Monty Python and
Hmm.
or not hate again. Hate is a strong word, but
Dislike.
yeah, I've never found it
Not
funny. I've
your
always
bag.
not my bag, not my cup of tea, not my glass of rum,
Not tickled your whistle.
not tickled my pardon. I
Whistle.
think there are shut up. I think there are three main reasons for why I don't like Monty Python. One
Hmm.
of which is perfectly reasonable,
Okay.
and the other two of which are stupid. The first one is that
Yeah.
as I said, I just don't tend to find their stuff all that funny. It's not really my sense of humor, and that's
Hmm.
as I think we've established over the course of
Okay.
this minute video.
Hmm.
That's fair enough. It's no accounting for taste,
Yeah.
especially mine. The second reason is that I don't like it is people such as yourself, and
Mm,
I'm not telling you off, but
mm,
people such as yourself bang on all the effing time about how brilliant and groundbreaking it is. And the third reason
mm.
is when I was at school,
Right.
the show got repeated on television, probably for its 20th anniversary or something like
Hmm.
that on the BBC. And I was sort of went to school the next day, and like while it was on, and
Mm,
all the cool kids at my school were like talking about it, like, oh my God, oh my God, oh Stu, oh you don't like Monty Python, Stu, oh Stu, it's so brilliant, it's so groundbreaking, oh it's so awesome, oh, you should totally. And I think I sort of, with all the cool kids going on about it, it's a bit like it's the same way they were talking about all the cool bands around at the time, who I also
mm,
didn't like
yeah.
at the time. They were all going on about James and the Happy
Mm,
Mondays and all these bands, that I just didn't like when I was into Iron Maiden and Guns N' Roses, which is
hmm,
about as uncool as you could get in 1989. Um, and I think the common denominator with those last two reasons is that when everyone else seems to like something,
mm,
and you're the only one, apparently the only one who doesn't. It has these two effects. It has this weird effect where it gives you an inferiority complex
hmm.
and a superiority complex at the same time.
Yeah.
Like you feel like a failure because you don't get it,
Hmm.
but also you feel like you sort of react against it, like, well, they're all just sheep. I'm going to listen to Power Slave
Mm.
again.
You feel liberated from the masses.
Uh, that's probably the kind of self-justification I would have come up with at the time. Yeah,
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
oh, you all
I
like
don't
that.
need these
You all like that
fools
cool
to,
thing.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Now that is an emotion or a position or whatever you want to call it that I expect you're quite familiar with, knowing what I know
Mm,
about your musical taste.
yeah.
Yeah, I bet
No.
you were never.
Yeah.
I bet you were never in with the cool kids at school in terms of
No, of
musical
course
taste
not.
and things.
Of course not.
Yeah, yeah. So
And I know it
So do you know?
wasn't.
So
And
you understand where I'm coming from?
I was quite happy to walk on the opposite side of the street,
Yeah.
you know, scenario.
And do
Um,
you sort of get off on it a little bit on being different?
of course we
Yeah,
did.
yeah.
You know, we used to call kids at school Gibbs, general incoherent baggies.
That is a very specific joke about uh about
Yeah.
our teenage years because baggy
Yeah,
was all the rage, wasn't it, in the sort of late
exactly.
80s,
And I
early
hated
90s?
it, just hated
Yeah.
it.
Oh yeah,
So,
the dress code
yeah,
especially. Yeah, you and your.
exactly.
But why don't you tell us, Uncle Alan, what in conclusion, what's what this film means to you,
Um,
or why we're doing it, why we're talking about it?
well, again, it's the kind of pushing people out of their comfort zone. I think is always something that's worthwhile you doing,
In
particularly
terms of
when
this
you
video,
know,
yes.
in terms of this video, because I kind of knew the outcome was going to be kind of what it was,
You
but I
kind of thought
kind
I
of
wouldn't like it, but you
I
made me
don't knew
watch it
you kind
anyway.
of
That's
well.
what you said.
I was hoping that after all these years, you might have softened a little bit,
And
but
it's possible that I might have done. Your
uh,
tastes change as you get older.
exactly,
So
But it was interesting to do a reaction video anyway because I know you hadn't seen Holy Grail,
yeah, and to
and
do a video for where one of us hasn't even seen the film, which I need to
exactly,
do.
yes,
Incidentally, I need to pick one that you haven't seen
exactly,
to do at
and
some
I
point.
kind of know what one we're gonna do, so yeah,
Do you?
yeah.
Oh yes,
Hmm.
yes. Oh well, actually
We'll save
yes.
that for another time, everybody.
I shall
Um,
say no more
Yeah.
because I just remember what you're talking
Um,
about.
yeah. But yeah, I think, with everything in life, it's always good we should always be pushed out of our comfort zones
Oh yeah.
because there's going to be stuff that you're going to cement yourself with that, I know I don't like this. I still don't like it. Fair enough. I'm quite happy
But
that
at least they
this
gave
isn't
it another
have to, it
go,
doesn't
and
have to be part of my life. I'm quite happy. And then there's going to be other times when you are going to surprise yourself. And there is going to be this kind of, oh my God, why have I missed out? Why did I only start eating parsnips when I was in my 30s?
yeah.
Why the hell did I deny myself this loveliness? So,
Or in
you know,
my case, whiskey.
you know, I don't need to talk about why I love Python. All the Python fans out there know why they love it because it is
I think you've
silly.
made your
It is
case anyway.
ridiculous. Exactly. And I'm in a good big friendly club and I'm quite happy and I'd love you to come join my club, but if you don't want to, you don't have to. So it's all right. But you know,
Is the bar
Like
free?
too many things in life, it's subjective. Beauty's
Yeah.
in the eye of the beholder. It always has been, and it always will be. So don't get het up if there's something you don't like, and don't get het up if there's something that you love and someone else doesn't.
I think
So
that's actually a very valuable lesson to end on,
mm,
uh, because I think a lot of people, I was going to say these days, but I'm sure this has always been the case, and I'm sure I've been guilty of this sort of misbegotten emotion myself in the past. In
mm,
fact, I know I have. I think when you it's a similar sort of thing to what I was talking about earlier on. When everyone else loves a thing and you hate it or don't
yeah,
like it, it kind of you resent them and you
mm,
therefore like there's
yeah,
something wrong with me. And I think there's a similar thing can happen when people love something too much. They
yeah,
love something so much to the point where they can't stand to hear any criticism of it
yeah, which is
or of
ridiculous. Yeah, you,
yeah, and people get very
mm,
defensive about it and very sort of, and I think that happens a lot. And we see it on the internet all the time. We see it on YouTube all
sadly,
the time. There's a lot of
yeah,
YouTube channels for people. What's that line in Space that Bill Bailey says to Simon Pegg? You're defending the fantasy
and
genre with terminal intensity. It's true. People can get
yeah,
very
exactly,
overprotective about the things they love, whether it's Star Wars or Trek, or whether it's Marvel or DC, or whether
yeah.
it's My
Babylon
Little
5.
Pony. I don't know, Babylon 5. Good callback. So I think it's a good that's a good lesson there to
Mm.
sort of end on is that we just if you like something, great, just
Yeah,
enjoy it. You don't. It doesn't matter
and
if anybody else likes it or
yeah,
not. If other people
exactly.
do, that's great, and it's a
So
club, like you said. And if not, it doesn't matter.
yeah,
Don't take it. And if other
and
people think you're silly for liking it, then ignore them. They don't
yeah,
know what they're talking
and
about.
and you know what, everybody, look, I've known Stu for decades, and I mean decades, and my friendship
175 years.
exactly. It's been a while, but I don't think any less of Stu just because he doesn't like Python. I know that there are a massive amount of things that we do love and we're going to share, we love together, and there's going to be things that we will disagree with, and that's fine. It's all right. Actually makes a friendship more interesting.
It does. It
So
does. And I
yeah,
think, and hopefully, it's made this episode a bit more interesting as
yeah,
well.
exactly.
So for next week's episode,
Hmm.
teaser for that, we'll be
Yeah.
doing a double bill of this, followed by this. We're absolutely not going to do that because Alan's not keen. And part
Well,
of the, I
maybe
think
save it for
today,
another
I
time.
think as a general rule, well, maybe
Yeah.
one day. I doubt it though.
Mm.
As a general rule, I think we do films that we both love or both find interesting. But now
Exactly.
and again, it's nice to do something that
Well, exactly. We're gonna
challenges
we're
the
gonna
other.
play
And
around with this a little bit for
yeah,
everybody. So,
yeah,
it's not always gonna be, oh, sing another movie view. It's gonna be, yeah, a movie view, but maybe with a little bit of a twist. There's
yeah,
there's always got to be something that's makes it a little bit more interesting. And that's what we're hopefully trying to give you guys. So
yeah.
we're also going to be trying to point out which are some really interesting movies to look out. Some that are just good all-time classics, but also some hidden gems out there as well. So
Yeah.
anyway, but everybody, it's been a delight to talk to you again. I
I've
hope
got
you've enjoyed us both
I've got some rum
rambling on
left.
again. Yeah, I've got a bit of rum left too,
Very rarely do
but
I have any rum left at the end of the episode.
but we're going to sign off, and we're going to say again, thank you very much for joining us on our rambles, and enjoy watching the movies. And of course, if you are enjoying our rambles, please like and subscribe, and
Subscribe and
catch
sub
us.
like.
Indeed. And catch us on our next deep dive. All right. So until next time, bye bye.
Bye bye.